GoCompare is not. And you will get a list of lots of random keywords. So just to make this a little more consistent, I said, okay, I want to include only these keywords where Money Supermarket is ranking on position less than 11. So first to 10. Then compare the market, same story. I want only where they are ranking between 1 and 10. So first page. So we have two conditions. Show me only these keywords where these two guys, two websites are ranking simultaneously on the first page of the result. So I know that somehow these keywords must be really relevant to the industry. And then finally, search volume is less than 1,000. Why? Because I don't want to find keywords which are brand names of some credit card providers, bank names, and so on. I want rather generic keywords. And then I'm going deeper. Include keywords that contain word how. When I was doing some research, I know that how or any other equivalent of how in different languages is definitely the most popular way of starting question. In English is how, in Russian is kak, in Polish is jak. I don't know how it's in Hindi, but you can do a test. And if you go to check like a big players like Shopify or HubSpot, and you will check through SEMrush what keywords they ranking, you will see that how is much more popular than what or why. Why is very philosophical. And then I said, okay, I know that GoCompare is very strong in the car market, so I added word car. And what I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 very relevant questions that GoCompare is currently not ranking, and the competitors are, and moreover, the competitors are ranking in top 10. You can see that keyword difficulty is relatively high. Cost per click is 0 or close to 0 often. So we have a chance to rank, and obviously GoCompare is very relevant to the car industry. So it shouldn't take much effort to build a couple of pages or one page which would contain all these keywords or all these questions or all these phrases. And I like predominantly this one. I will try to make this bigger. How does scraping a car affect insurance? People want to know that. Or for example, how to tax a car you just bought. And you can see that Money Supermarket and Compare Market are ranking, and GoCompare is not. So if I would be joining GoCompare or if I would be consulting for GoCompare, this is my first stop where I would start dealing with. And that's one example. And very quickly, the second example. So obviously, two rivals, two mammoth websites, huge websites, Amazon and eBay. And what I have here, I said same way, Amazon Co.uk versus eBay Co.uk in UK market. And I want to see these keywords which contain how, which are making Amazon ranking on position 11, and eBay is not ranking at all. And obviously I need to normally exclude word Amazon, but in this example, I'm including word Amazon just to do a little trick. As you know, there is another tool and where SEMrush is offering. It's called Keyword Difficulty Tool. And I can take all the keywords that Amazon is ranking quite high, and I can change word Amazon to word eBay. Obviously, eBay doesn't offer anything like eBay Prime or eBay Prime UK, but I can try to find if there are any keywords that are relevant to eBay and are written the same way like Amazon. So you can see here that I can create this list, and I can try to start dealing with how to become an eBay seller, how to cancel eBay Prime Video, probably not existing, but for example, how to get a refund on eBay. And you can see that then many times you may get results that some other websites are ranking and eBay is not. So eBay should secure that because they're losing traffic. So this is pretty much all from myself. And now I'm going to give a voice to Charmis. Charmis, are you ready?
Yep. Hey, hi guys. First of all, namaskar to everyone, all my brothers from India. Today I'll be speaking about a website called ClearTax. ClearTax is a website that helps you file your income taxes, that helps you plan your income, it helps you monetize all your plans towards financial needs. They're into mutual funds, they're into GSTs and multiple things. So, being into SEO, what are the typical things that should come into mind when we start off optimizing a campaign? The first thing that comes into mind is which keywords do we focus on? Which keywords will work for me? And the best thing that can happen over here, if you want to compare that, which are the keywords your competitor is ranking on, and you can also nail too. So I'm going to quickly start sharing my screen and start the real proposals. Yes, so we'll be starting with clear tax. We'll covering four different topics. One is the keyword gap analysis. Second is the keyword difficulty tool. Third is keyword analyzer tool, and fourth is the keyword position tool. So starting from what Cleartive exactly? ClearTax, it's a Bangalore-based financial technology platform providing solutions for income tax filing, GST, and multiple mutual fund investment. So they are typically into three things. One is they provide a GST software. They allow you to file your income tax for free, and you also get your CA assistance in case you need it. Moving on to the next slide, what exactly are we trying to cover here? So this is a typical process that we can follow. So once you start the process of optimizing the analysis, we should start with gap analysis tool. Then we switch to the keyword magic tool. So the keyword gap analysis tool will help you in two things. First is it'll help you analyze all the competitions. It'll help you track which keywords is your competition ranking on and you should work on. Second is the keyword magic tool. It's the best tool that you can get in terms of optimizing for new keywords. If you're running out for ideas, if you want to optimize your campaign and initiate more keywords into your campaign, this you can use this tool. Third is the keyword difficulty tool. This tool will help you to analyze the difficulty of your overall campaign. Fourth thing that you can follow is the keyword analysis tool. Post that you can track the analysis and track it via rankings. So by following this process, you can get amazing results. We'll start with the keyword gap analysis tool going first. So first, what I'm using here is this is ClearTax's organic positions. The first thing that I would like to cover here is initially when I started optimizing for ClearTax, I would like to see the organic weightage. So the organic weightage can be identified by two, three things. So the first thing is what are the number of keywords that they rank for. Second is the number of traffic that they get, and who are the competitors that they have. So as you can see the graph, and it's very clear. Paisabazaar and ClearTax are heads-on competitions on their own market. And recently, I noticed that mutual funds is something that ClearTax.in should focus on because it's a new venture and it's typically the month's end for Indians where they file their taxes and stuff. So this is an investment portfolio for anyone who is looking to invest in mutual funds. Yeah, so Paisabazaar and ClearTax, as you can see, are clearly competitors. Going to the second slides. So this is the usage of organic traffic with the keywords that contain the word funds. Funds is nothing but I want to target the traffic of traffic that is coming from mutual funds. So first thing here you can observe from the first slide is ClearTax is having approximately 379.4K traffic coming a month from that has the word fund in it. Wherein if you see Paisabazaar is having a traffic of good 122K. So this is used by SEMrush organic research to estimate keyword level traffic. This is the only tool that you can get this level of detailed information over your traffic. So what exactly I wanted to achieve here is what exactly is the overall market. So if you see there are 6K keywords contributing to clear taxes campaign and around 5.5 keywords that contribute to Paisa Bazaar's campaign. So typically it's a market where you can win. There's a potential for clear tax to grab on the traffic of more 102K. So how exactly would ClearTax should uh, start the campaign? So first of all, they'll start using the keyword gap analysis. So keyword gap analysis is nothing but it'll help you compare two websites and the common keywords where exactly your competitors are ranking higher for. So previously, if you have to do all of these things, you need to do a detailed keyword research, then extract the rankings for all, both of the keywords, both of the competitors as well, and do a lot of Excel work. Post that, you will have to analyze that which keywords of your competitor is ranking ahead of you, and then kick in the campaign. So it's a humongous task, and keyword gap analysis is solving this thing in a pretty decent way. So if you use this tool, you can achieve all the keywords that a competitor is ranking for. So if you observe clearly, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to compare Paisa Bazaar's organic traffic and keyword with clear tags. I'm including all the keywords that has the word fund and Paisa Bazaar's organic position where they have rankings is under 10. So this by doing this analysis in less than 5 minutes, I get to know that which are the top 15 keywords where clear tax is not ranking and Paisa Bazaar is ranking. So clearly from an SEO standpoint, if I do scale up my traffic, I can do it on a category level as well. So in this niche, I have tried to cover the word mutual funds. You can do it in terms of many levels. You can have branded traffic, you can have non-branded traffic, you can do it in terms of URL as well. So if you want to do it in terms of URL, you just need to play with filters that is already provided, and you can typically get the keywords where your competitor is getting traffic from. So this way it makes it very easy for the SEOs to focus on the keywords that they matter actually. Moving to the next slide, it's about keyword magic tool. So now exactly we have is the keyword that the competition is ranking for, and as it suggests, the keyword tool is the keyword magic tool. It can influence many levels of traffic if it's used at its maximum peak. So it can be used in four types. If you're running out of ideas to add on more variations to your campaign, this tool can be a real deal. So with one click of a button, it can give you all the variations that is possible to target one keyword. Another beauty of this tool is it helps you drive FAQs. So there are many industries that are dependent on FAQs. If you want to implement all your FAQs, if you want to get more ideas towards questions and stuff, you can get using this tool. So the easy thing that about this tool is, as you can see, I've added just the word called mutual funds. There are four match types that you can use. First is the broad match. Second is a phrase, exact, and related. So as you can see, the beauty of it is you can get keywords, you can get its volume, you can get the trend, you can get keyword difficulty, CPC, and typically everything. Another part of it is if you want to get into questions, you just toggle the tab from all the questions. As you can see on the right hand side, it'll give you all the relative questions with the volume. So if you want to start optimize a campaign for mutual funds, if you want to get some ideas over the questions that people can ask typically, you can nail it from here. Like say, what are the 10 best types of mutual funds to invest with X amount? There are multiple ways you can use questions. If you already have these kind of questions, it helps you group all of these things into a particular segment. So if you wanted to see investment related questions, just click on that tab and you can get it. If you want to see any particular company that is doing great, like say in this example, if I want to see the questions related to SBI, I can do it. SBI is a bank here. So these are the things that you can do here. Coming to the next portfolio, this is keyword difficulty tool. Keyword difficulty tool is by far one of the best tool that can help you identify the lot of potential when it comes to SERP matrix. When I say SERP matrix, so in my mind it's SERP features. So in this thing, what I've added is I've added the top 20 keywords where clear tax is not clearly ranking. I want to analyze what is the difficulty level for all of these keywords. So if you see on the left hand side, there are this list of 20 questions, 20 keywords that I've added. Slightly on the right, there is difficulty, like what is the difficulty for ranking these keywords. These are pretty difficult keywords for sure, given the sum of volume as well. Next best thing about this is you can know that what are the SERP features you can contribute to. Let's say if you're driving a blog using the keyword magic tool, you have some questions that you can write blogs on, and you know that this niche is something that SERP featured snippet or maybe rich questions, rich answers, anything that is coming on. So you can typically go and optimize those things. So keyword difficulty tool helps you analyze difficulty and also helps you see the feature as of which keyword is ranking on which feature, which keyword is ranking on which feature. Moving on, we have keyword analyzer tool. Keyword analyzer tool is basically, as the name suggests, it's an analyzing tool that shares one view of the selected important keywords. There are multiple use cases for the same, and I'll drive some of them. So, depending on the level of subscription, you can analyze a good number of keywords, keyword trends, competitions, its HCRP features. You can get top 10 competitors of this tool. Basically, what are the keywords that you see in the keyword magic tool and in the keyword gap tool, or any of the keywords that you're not ranking on, and you want to compare all of these keywords into one thing. This is the tool that can help you analyze everything. Moving to the next thing, it's called position tracking. So now by far we've covered a few things. First thing is we've covered the keyword gap analysis tool. By usage of this tool, you can typically get the keyword gaps where your competitors are ranking on. Second thing is by using the keyword magic tool, now you got the ideas as in which keywords you want to emphasize on. I wanted to write blogs on, I want to do anything on that keywords. Third is the keyword analyzer tool and the keyword difficulty tool. So these two tools are typically used to analyze your campaign, analyze your SEO campaigns, and now it's time to track your positions. So to make it easier, I'll drive you online and show you exactly how exactly it feels. So to start with the position tracking, you need to add a project here in the SEMrush tool. Once you add this project, you need to add some keywords. Once you add some keywords as well, something like this will happen here. Once you click on this, so typically the best thing about the position ranking of SEMrush is I've been using a lot of tools recently to manage my portfolios personally as well. But the beauty of this tool is it's typically very easy to add keywords from different sources. If I have to add some keywords from Webmaster Tools, it's very easy. If I have to add some keywords from Google Analytics, from SEMrush itself, it's very easy for me to see this to see the impact. So now coming on to this tool, as you can see, I've already added few keywords which are already ranking. To come on to the clear taxes portfolio, this here shows you the visibility trend, the estimated traffic, the average position that you get from all of these keywords. You can toggle it in terms of however you want. Like say, if I want to see what are the top 3 trends of my keywords, I can see it. I have 31 keywords that are ranking in top 3. Again, itself, it's the ranking distribution, top 3s, top 10s. I can segregate in terms of competitive discovery, rankings, landing pages, and multiple things. Another best thing about this is I can target rankings up to 10 geographics. Like if I'm a local competitor, and sometimes it happens that the rankings are different from different states. If I were to start ranking on, if I start ranking on .in, there might be some possibilities that I want to see my rankings where people are targeting from, or people are searching from Bangalore, or people are searching from India, or from any of the part, let's say Mumbai or anything. So I can typically track it. So these are the things we can do typically uh, with position tracking of provided by SEMrush. And I will add Lucas to add his contribution to this. Lucas?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
I can hear you, Lucas.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. That was really, really good. I am big fan of this chart you just draw. I think that is something that lots of people could learn a lot, especially that there is so many tools that SEMrush is offering, and you've been the first one I saw that it's a very well connected between different tools that belongs to the same platform. So I just wanted to ask our listeners, our attendees, if there are any kind of questions you would like to ask Charmis. That is the best moment. Let me take let me take a look on our YouTube. Guys, don't be shy. If you have any questions, I know that we have some people from Gujarat, which I'm yearly basis visiting. So if you guys don't have any more questions, then we have here a question. We are an agency and use a SEMrush to track our client's website. It will be great to use this to find gaps in market too. So we have this question from Rebecca, I believe. Charmis, would you like to add something on top of that?
Yes, I guess is the best tool by far in the market to analyze all the keywords. Yes, you can use this tool. So basically, if you have to do a market trend analysis, you can do it too. So if I have to answer you that in a elongated way, you need to use the organic research portion of SEMrush, get the keywords that you're ranking for, get the search volumes as well, do a market research in terms of rankings. It sounds like an SEO market share for ad. So once you have say 4 to 5 typical competitors, use the keyword gap tool and identify the overall market share of yours. And by far you can see that if your ranking fluctuations affect the overall market or not.
Absolutely, and I think the when you're using this aside of just tracking keywords, this is what clients love about working with an agency. You're delivering something on top of what client is expecting. Client is just expecting you to track rankings, and you're saying like, listen, but we just identify gaps here and there, so maybe we can also give you some advices about content. Very good question. Question two, how recent the results are from the database used for the research? Charmis, want to start?
Yes, you can take this.
This is a question two, how recent the results are from the database used for the research?
It is very recent. It's like 3 days before.
Gotcha. And I think maybe going a bit deeper, if you would like to know a bit broader answer for this question, which is a great question, I would say that SEMrush generally is very quickly updating. I cannot give you specific time frame, but whatever is going on, whatever is getting trendy, that is very quickly appearing in the database of specific countries. Question three: any Indian audience specific tips? I think this is purely to you, Charmis.
So as far as I know, there are some of the best SEOs that I know that are from India. And typically, being in India, I'm very proud about it. So the insights that I would like to share about an Indian from an SEO Indian SEO standpoint is, I believe there is a lot of scope and automation. If I have to suggest, like say, three most important things that I personally do to optimize all of my campaigns, I use a lot of APIs. I don't do manual reporting. I use all the APIs that is available from webmasters, from analytics, from each of the things that is available in the market. Third tip will be SEMrush's API is also awesome when it comes to computer discovery and computer research. I guess by far, if I have to get a market share that I just spoke, if I have to get a market share about traffic trends, how exactly things are moving, and by the recent updates that SEMrushes have, it's typically very transparent to hunt all the keywords that my competitors are ranking for. Also, if I were to, so one most important tip that I'd like to share is, let's say that you're seeing a traffic dip or a traffic hike. So the only thing that you can do without an SEM rush is go and toggle all of your traffic reports, ranking reports, uh, your volume reports, the search volume reports, and everything. With the help of SEM brush and automation for sure, typically you can map your overall hike or dip in traffic. If I were to make it easier, like say if you want to analyze that if your business is down by say 20% or increased by 30%, so what exactly led to this increase? Is it a market increase, or is your keyword performing great, or is something that is your competitor is lacking on? So previously without SEM, it was very difficult for me to answer those kind of questions. And we work in big organizations, so all of these things contribute to revenue. So typically, automation and using SEMrush in the best nature, I think that this should be the best tip from my.
Yeah, perfect answer. I think I can only agree with you. I'm a big fan of APIs, especially the one that SEMrush is providing. But also, I'm a big fan of the fact that right now we have a connector that can be used for Data Studio. That makes life easier.
Yeah,
And that's are these precious minutes and hours that you're saving every day, every week, every month, every year. That added altogether makes a big difference, because the one asset that is almost impossible to increase is the number of hours you can work a day. There is only 24 hours, and we need to use them wisely. Question four: after keyword stuffing in, how much time I can track my website?
can you
So I am not sure if I understand this question correctly. After keyword stuffing in, how much time I can track my website?
I guess is referring to the keyword position thing.
Yes. Do you want to start? And I will just
Yeah,
go.
you can track for the amount of time that you want. Like say if you want, keep on adding keywords. It'll help you. Like it's not specific to subscription as well. If you're subscribed for say 2,000 keywords, you can track it on a daily basis. You can track it on a weekly basis. It depends on you typically, and it's nothing called keyword stuffing. It's called keyword position tracking. So once you add
Exactly.
your keywords from say different sources, as I mentioned, uh, it would be a best option. Like say to add on to the position tracking tool. Let's say you have ideally you should use it in this way. I would track the top 50 keywords that is bringing me traffic via webmaster tools. Top 50 keywords where my competition is ranking ahead of out of me, and top 50 keywords that are mostly generic or long tail. So making a count of good 250 keywords should shake the whole market share. So this becomes an ideal way, like you're tracking the most top 50 keywords that gets you traffic, the aspiring 50 keywords where you want to rank on. The other set is generic sets, which is seasonal, and the other is long tails. So typically you can cover each of the small aspects as well.
I can only add on top of that that I'm sometimes preparing a set of 3 to 5 keywords, the best performing per URL, and I'm taking this data from Search Console. I think that's a great question, except of I would suggest we avoid word keyword stuffing because it's so that is my personal just little suggestion for Rahul who asked this question. So yeah. Now another question: how much time it takes to gain earlier rank after redesign only template? So if you want, I will start.
Please.
Redesigning template is probably the lowest risk overall. Generally, that's something that should bring your rankings higher because you're trying to make your website more engaging. So I would say, referring to the previous question, when you have a set of keywords that you're tracking and you're launching new template, then you immediately can see what is the impact on keyword rankings way before you will see any impact on traffic. But I wouldn't say that there is any kind of time frame. Pretty much immediately you will see if you done something really really horribly wrong. Let's say you included no index tag or you forgot to remove disallow from across the whole website and you blocked the robot, then you pretty much see this immediately. And that's a great thing because seeing that keyword rankings dropped that dramatically and you're looking on the SEMrush to know that you can react very quickly rather than sitting for a week or two and saying like we lost traffic and we don't know where to start digging.
Yeah, typically,
Charmis?
I would like to add on something here. Let me understand the question first. How much time it takes to gain earlier ranks after redesign only templates? So technically, it's a wrong question. Like I don't mean to offend it, but what I hear is you had some rankings, then you lost the rankings after you redesigned the template. So as Lucas suggested, ideally from my perspective, you should only change the template if you're very sure about the engagement rates. You can technically track everything from Google Analytics. So yeah, you can do it. If the engagement is not that high, then only it's a need to change templates. And you need to be very careful when you change templates because let's say I'm a user, let's say if I'm a huge website, I've got say 10,000, 50,000 visitors a day, and suddenly day two I see a different thing. So changes should be very gradual. It shouldn't be like a surprise. Yeah, and as Lucas suggested, be very careful with adding robots, playing with it. So it's typically easy.
Absolutely. So we have more and more questions. So question number 6. Apart from blogs articles, what are other ways to add the keywords into an e-commerce website? Charmis, you are. I'm just host here, so if you want, please start, and I will just jump.
So when it comes to e-commerce, there are three, four things. First thing is why do you want to add articles or blogs wherever? Because it's in e-commerce, people don't read there. People come to shop there. Secondly, from a ranking perspective, it depends on which kind of keywords you want to rank. Are you wanting to rank on particular products or particular categories? If you want to rank on particular categories, so the best thing that you can do here is you should try and develop a blog which tends to people reading about it. Like say if I have to buy, if I, like say a review about anything that you're selling, so blog is the only option we can add content because adding content on e-commerce, especially to e-commerce stores where you have a lot of categories, It doesn't make sense, and it's not scalable as well. Like if you have say 10 categories today, it is scalable to write content for every category as well. If we expand it to 10x and go 50 categories, say 100 categories, so typically don't write content on everything. Then the blog remains the only portion where you can add content. And as you can see, as you follow the PPT, if you're running out of options to write content, you should start addressing the questions. Similarly, you can use the keyword magic tool, hit some keywords that you wanted to rank on, and you can get you get some topics to rank on. You should write about those ideally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a bit tricky with a content because, like you said, products and categories, that's absolutely a must. But sometimes some e-commerce are selling products that are very seasonal, and let's say markup is very, very small. So preparing content is more expensive than the profit on the sale of the product.
Exactly.
So yes, I know that one of the big hotel provider is using this kind of methodology of, you know, translating the descriptions of the hotels only in the languages when he's sure that people from that countries are, you know, coming. So for example, Poland, where I was born, is a very popular destination for Japanese people who are coming from Japan, visiting, let's say, Krakow, because it's, yeah, this is how it is. And then, you know, people from Thailand or Laos, maybe not. So translating description of the hotels to Japanese would make sense, but to, for example, Thai, maybe not that much. So I think, yeah, I think this four types of content, like blogs, articles, content category, and product category, as well as some FAQs, that would be good. And then obviously there is a less SEO oriented content and more into engagement, so all forms of quizzes, all forms of this kind of interaction between user and the e-commerce platform will be quite interesting.
Also, you can contribute to many news sites if you're e-commerce and you want to enhance your brands with links as well. So if you have an awesome research piece, you can approach to many of these articles where these news publishing articles, and they might add you.
Yes, and I wanted to mention one more. It is not the easiest type of content, but a very engaging one, comparison tables. So I remember when I wanted to buy a cat and I could compare two kind of types of cat between each other, the same way like you would compare two MacBook Pros. It was quite awkward, but you know, you could compare the main different attributes of a cat. So, for example, how long the cat is living, how much is eating, is it friendly with kids or not, is it losing hairs or not, and so on and so on. And you had like 10 attributes, and you could add, I think, 3 or 4 cats. And if you have these products, let's say you cannot always do this kind of things, but if you are selling, for example, used cars, you can do this, something that we always dealing with in spreadsheets. And if you would see this comparison table when we're buying a car, then I could save a lot of time. So this content, I think you have this content very often when you're buying electronic stuff from the same family, let's say photo cameras or phones, and so on and so on. Very good question. We could talk and talk about this question, isn't it? Number 7. Again, it's a bit mysterious question because when I'm reading, like, can we track the social media accounts of our closest competitor using SEMrush? We need to be a little more precise when we asking question, because tracking is like whatever, it
It's a
is
huge
like,
thing.
yeah, it's like would you would say, can we look on competitors doing SEO? Yes, we can, but we need to be a bit more precise. But I will try to answer this question. So one of the way to track your competitor social media platform is pretty much to track mentions. And SEMrush have a brand tracker, so you're setting up projects not only to track your mentions but also mentions of the competitor. So for example, if I would be working for Canon and I would like to know what's going on with my biggest competitor, which is Nikon, I would set up another project in SEMrush, which would track word Nikon, which is a brand name. It's not like a dictionary word. And that way I could learn, I could understand what people are talking, what is the sentiment, where this Nikon mentions are appearing the most. And based on that data, I could jump into my Canon environment and try to leverage here and there, because I can see that Nikon is here and there. But Charmis, please add your part to this.
Yeah, same thing. Like brand mentions means the most. It typically is a signal how your brand is doing. Second thing that I can add up to is from a SEO perspective, not a social media guy for sure. One is your brand impressions. How many impressions are you catering to? So this is not available with SEMrush, but yeah, you can obviously see the number of branded keywords that your traffic is coming from. So if you want to track your competitor as well, you can see the number of people typing in directly and coming in. Not a social media junkie, so I wouldn't be able to answer it precisely. But yeah, I will add up. Brand mentions something that you should track, and it's also a good form of link building.
Gotcha. Then we have question 8. Is LSI keywords mandatory in description or title? How can we use LSI keywords? Is mandatory? Definitely no. It's up to you if you will use it or not in the title or meta description. I can say that, it's definitely good to have this knowledge behind. But from the other side, it's definitely good to remember that you're writing for a customers, not for a search engine. I personally don't like when people are using LSI and dividing these words or sentences with pipes. So, for example, credit card, pipe, cheap credit card, pipe, balance transfer credit card. First of all, it's repetitive. Second of all, pipes are only used by SEOs to divide keywords in title tag. You would never ever write a letter to somebody and use pipes. What is this character pipes? How to read pipes? Hyphens. We have hyphens, which is like vertical, yeah, pipe and pipes is like, yeah. So I would be very careful here, and also I would say that title tag have much stronger impact on your SEO than meta description. However, don't forget that meta description also should be written nicely and not too long. Charmis, please add your stuff on top
Yeah,
of that.
LSI by far, I assume that it's the most confused portion of SEO. Like I've heard many people saying that I write content that is LSI equipped. So I feel there's nothing like LSI. Like Google recently in some of the blogs also has said that there's nothing called a concept of LSI. But let's jump into the question saying that using of titles and descriptions. Yeah, title should be very catchy, and it's a typical art to cover the keyword as well as the motive of the exact page. So don't stop the keywords. Avoid usage of pipes as Lukasz suggested, and description also should be in par with the titles as well. If you are an offer-based company, like say in flights that the company that I work for, we generally use some offer codes and stuff to enchant our users to click. Additional to that, there are many schemas recently you can add up to influence your CTRs. Basically, title tags is something for ranking. Description and other things are only for CTRs. So become very careful in writing description, and there are other factors of schemas you can play with.
Thank you very much. We have another one which is here. Many people saying content is king, but I check some sites which are ranking in Google first page using images only. How? Well, I can only say this way. Remember that it's not that content only decide on the rankings. That's one thing. And the second thing is there is something which is what we call competitiveness. Of course, if you will choose, remember about one thing: pretty much almost every sentence you write to Google is giving you some results. Yeah. So you definitely find some sentences that are not very popular, and Google, out of many factors, decided that okay, this website is with images but can still rank. That would rather be a signal that yes, if you have a page which is only images based, you can still rank. However, it will be much harder to rank or impossible to rank on competitive phrases. Is content king? I heard this many times since I remember. Some people are saying if content is a king, then links are a queens. So remember that this is a mixture of things. Obviously, I am quite staying away from this fairy tale story that when you write interesting content, people will start linking to you. It never works like that. That's much more difficult to get links these days. Remember that, you know, I'm slipping back from the question. Remember that today people are creating fan pages on Facebook and they are sitting on LinkedIn, which is kind of closed environment, rather than building own websites, how it was 15 years ago. People are using free hostings and they've been building websites. Then I remember that was like always this kind of tab, which was like links or friends or my friends' websites, and they were linking to each other. Today, free hosting websites are dying, and the people who really want to build a website, they are aware of SEO and so on and so on and so on. So I would say, as a conclusion from my end, the fact that you have images, you have web pages that ranking with images on the top of Google, that doesn't tell, and that tells very little. You need to dive much deeper. You need to understand the quality of keyword, difficulty of keyword search, volume of keywords, and check the link profile, not only on that page but also on the whole domain. Maybe the authority of this website is so high that Google don't see any problem to show them on the top. Jarvis?
Absolutely, yes. And first of all, I feel the query that the guy is triggering is typically related to something more imagey. So it's not something that is contextual in nature. So I feel if we get to know the query, then we can help more. Second thing is, as Lucas says, content is, I believe content is still the king. But the word content is these days framed into something different. So content is not something that you ask a content writer and he writes, say, 1,000 words articles and you start ranking. Content is subjective. Like say, I feel content should be very research based. If you're writing a content for merely like 10 best things to do in India, so if you find if you scrape the web, you'll find 10,000 articles writing the same thing, as in top 10 things or 20 things or 30 things. I feel it's a very research based approach when you tend to write about articles. So yeah, content is still the king, but acquisition of links is a different thing. As Lucas suggested, like if you research a lot of things, there's a good possibility you can get links, but it needs to have a lot of consistency.
Yeah, thank you very much. And now question 10, which is also very interesting. Do we need to keep making changes to title and meta description in order to keep the ranking stable? Of course, 3 times a day. No, I'm joking. So think about this. I am the last one to say it depends, because today I saw the meme which was like, any question about SEO? Answer, it depends. But now think about this. If you have an article about best blogs about travel in 2018, and we have 2019, to rank high, you will definitely try to change the title to 2019, even if you're not changing your content. Yeah, you can always say like in 2019 and in 2019, the same blogs being the most popular. Fair enough. But people will not be writing best blogs about travel or best travel blogs in 2018 when we're living in 2019. They will definitely be writing best blogs in 2019. Because of that, there is a fair reason to say that if you want to rank on top, you need to change your title tag and meta description in that circumstances. However, I'm the last one to say like you need to change your title tag for sake of changing the title tag if you want to rank on top. Obviously, you may see that people somehow starting to use a new terminology that your website didn't cover. I cannot find an example right now, but think about this. Let's go back 15 years ago to that would be 2005, yeah, kind of. So this device is a smartphone. Everyone was saying mobiles or cell phone. Today people are saying smartphone didn't exist. So if you had a website which been built in 2003 2004, you would have for example all about cell phones and mobiles. Today you would have all about smartphone and mobiles. Probably mobiles you would keep, but cell phones you would drop. So that would be my answer, but Charmis, please jump on this.
Yeah, I guess there's a good strategy behind this if I have to answer it in an elaborated way. So let's say you have 100 blogs, and as Luca suggested that some blogs we rate in 2017, 2018, 2016 and stuff. The best thing is you can add some content in all of these blogs, update the titles, update the descriptions, and if it's a trendy keyword, then you can typically rank. To being new travel, I'll give you a very good example. Uh, so India is a market of long weekends. So recently in Clear Trip, we have something called Long Weekends in 2018. We had a blog. We added a lot of new content, redirected to a page called 2019, and then we changed the title and everything because there were many long weekends that are coming in 2019. So yeah, usage of titles should be very precise. Again, one most important thing from my end should be if you're ranking on one for the most generic keywords and you're getting traffic and everything, I won't suggest to change anything. Play with description if you want to get more CTRs. Play with schemas if you want to get more CTRs. But title lag is very trickier. Don't change it too often when you're ranking already.
Thank you very much for this. So, guys, I think we had 10 solid questions. Um, Charmis, where people can find you just to continue this very exciting conversation? Is that LinkedIn? You have some website? Where would you like them to potentially
Yes.
get in touch?
I am available on LinkedIn. It is Charmis Pala. If you can search on LinkedIn, you'll easily find me. Additionally, for the PPT, I'll surely pass it on to the SEMrush guys. You'll find it on the page itself. Also, I'll share it on SlideShare, so you can easily get access of everything. If you have some questions related to the way I audited, or you have questions related to something else that I can help and contribute to, please feel free to hit me on LinkedIn. I'm also available on Twitter as well. When search the name, you can find it. So yeah,
Perfect, perfect. So, thank you very, very much. I would like also to say thank you for all the attendees. We have another webinar which will be at 29th of August, the same time. My guest that will be very well known, Aleida Solis, and we will be talking about another tactics that will help your business to win the SEO game. Um, I'm Lukasz Zelezny. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on SEO.London. You can also find me on SEMrush, where sometimes I'm active there as well. Once again, thank you very, very much for your time. Shukriya, and let's see each other next time on the webinar prepared by SEMrush, the platform we all loves.
thank you.
Bye bye.